Some of the worst stats in this football club's history off the back of yet another pathetic performance away from home for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. And then to top it all off, we've got news circulating this morning that certain players' contracts that really don't rate amongst the fan base are looking to be extended going into next season as well. This is Forever United TV, FUTV. Welcome along, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is an extra bit of content today because we can't squeeze everything into one Sunday session, which is this evening at 6:30, guys. We are back with the last show of 2023 later on, but there's too much news coming out with Manchester United. We have to slip another show in there for you guys to get your thoughts on. We are going to get into the comment section on your thoughts of the game yesterday, guys. I want to give everyone a chance to have their say. Obviously, we couldn't get everyone on. We had so much to do yesterday, content-wise. Not everyone could have their say in the chat. It is a pretty horrible time for all Manchester United fans right now. I think everyone admits that. Everyone has to agree with that. I've already put a poll up in the chat regarding Ten Hag to see where you guys are at. I can see the argument for, I can see the argument against. And unfortunately, it's the United fan base that has to suffer in all of this. No one else does. No one else does. The players can say that they are getting pressured, they are getting bad-mouthed and everything like that, but their lives don't change. They're still at Manchester United, which is why I wanted to bring in this story today regarding the contract extensions of Victor Lindelof and Johnny Evans. Erik ten Hag is recommending that Johnny Evans gets another year at Manchester United. What will that make him? 37? By the end of that contract? Is this the way Manchester United are going forward? Is this the start of the Ineos era? If it is, then all hope is lost for this football club. It really is. Johnny Evans, and I said this yesterday, and give him all the credit under the sun, he is busting a gut and he is embarrassing some of these Manchester United regulars from the last few years right now in this team. And you know what? He probably, in theory, deserves his contract extension. The bigger picture is, why are we looking to extend the player that was an emergency pre-season loan? First of all, let's not take anything away from Johnny Evans' performances this season. I'm not getting at that. This isn't about Johnny Evans. This isn't about him, the character and what he's done and how he's played this season. This is about Manchester United going forward. This is about how the football club are looking ahead. How are we supposed to be confident in this actual turnaround under Ten Hag when we're looking to extend Johnny Evans' contract? It's mind-boggling right now. It's mind-boggling how this club is operating, how we're moving forward, and I just don't see any progression at all. Johnny Evans, fantastic, well done this season. First of all, he was a pre-season emergency loan, just to come in to help him out, former United player, play a few games in pre-season. He was supposed to just play with the under-21 side of pre-season. Gradually, he's just come forward. So you look at this two ways. You look at the progression of the football club in adding another contract to a player who is going to be 37 over into next year at the end of the season if we do extend his contract. Then you're looking at the position that we was in the summer, third in the league, Carabao Cup winners, back in the Champions League, and we bought Johnny Evans in as our one centre-back purchase, our one defensive buy in the summer. That was our big signing for our defence. So that was our improvement on finishing third. Johnny Evans has gone from an emergency pre-season loan to come in and play for the under-21 part of pre-season. He wasn't supposed to be part of the first team at all in pre-season. He's gone from that, been elevated into the start of the season as someone who Manchester United should give a contract to simply because it looks like we're bringing another squad player into Manchester United. That's pathetic on its own. Again, nothing to do with Johnny Evans, but that's, if the club are moving this way, that's pathetic on its own. It really is. He's then gone from that squad player just to come in and help out to now being part of the hope of this football club and our best centre-back partnership of the season so far. What's that telling you about the rest of this team and the rest of this defence? What is that telling you? So two factors in this. The fact that we are clinging on to what was the emergency loan, who wasn't getting game time at Leicester, Johnny Evans. now part of Manchester United. That as our major defensive signing last summer, and we're looking to extend that contract at the age he's going to be. That on its own is damning. And then you look at the second part of it, and this is credit to Johnny Evans on his side of things, his standards and his levels, and he knows Manchester United. He has actually outed every single one of our defenders, barring Martinez, who has been out injured. He's outed everyone and gone to the top of the bleeding tree. I never sat there thinking about it. I'm going, before I came on, I was sat there and I was thinking about this. I was going, Johnny Evans, he's done that. He's gone ahead of every single Manchester United player. These are all players that finished third last season, contributed in a way last season to us having one of our best seasons in maybe 5 years. Looked like Manchester United were progressing under HAG. He's now come in and he's now seen as the main player in our defence. Yeah, obviously it may change when Martinez comes back. Maybe if Maguire comes back, I don't know. But right now, HAG is looking at this and going, this player deserves to be at Manchester United again next season. He wants another year on top of his contract for Johnny Evans. Where have we gone in one half a season? Where is this team gone? Just talking about that alone scares the living hell out of me right now. And you all know I am not going in on Johnny Evans. I've made this very clear. I am chuffed to bits for the guy. I think he's been outstanding this season. But we're clinging on. Manchester United, the team that's supposed to be going to the next level, one of the so-called biggest teams in world football, are looking to extend the 36-year-old's contract at the back. A 36-year-old who is now ahead of every other defender centre-back at this football club. Because let's be honest, barring Martinez, he is. He's ahead of Varane, World Cup and Champions League winner. What's going on? What is going on at Manchester United? That's the question I've got to ask. It's so worrying for all Manchester United fans that we're in this situation right now. It really is. I just cannot believe we're in this position with Johnny Evans, and then you move across to Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof, year extension. We've just cut off Anthony Martial. We're not doing Martial. I understand that he's got a contract, 1 year add-on. If we want to trigger that 1 year extension, then we can do. But we've decided, and it's been reported, the Athletic have come out and said it, a few other media sources have said it, that Martial's contract will not be getting the 1 year extension. Why are we extending Lindelof? We're extending Lindelof, who isn't a first team player, who is not going to take Manchester United forward. And we're adding a year on to Johnny Evans, or Ten Hag looking to add a year on to Johnny Evans, and a 36-year-old who came in this season as an emergency loan just for pre-season. That's where we're at right now. That's the progress so far. Guys, I mean, like, you let me know. You tell me. I just find it absolutely baffling. Lindelof is not good enough for Manchester United. He never has been. He never will be. The fact that he's now clinging on for another year, whether or not that year can be for us to get money for him, I do not know. I doubt it. He's getting to the last stages of his late. How old is actually Lindelof now? Is he creeping up to 30 as well? Isn't so nearly everyone's at the end. For some reason, we've just extended these contracts, and the players have just sat there rotting away. What did I call them yesterday? These are the blockers. Believe it or not, Johnny Evans, as well as he's playing, and Lindelof, some people actually trying to say he's not the real issue at Manchester United. He is still in the way of progress at Manchester United. He's still there. He's blocking Camberwala coming through. He's stopping some other players getting their chance. He's stopping Manchester United feel like they have to go out and buy another centre-back because no one will take Lindelof, and we're stuck on this big contract, and it looks like Manchester United are actually just settling. That's what it looks like. It looks like we're settling for the likes of Lindelof and Evans to me. That's not good enough at all. It's nowhere near good enough for this football club. And it is a worry for us going forward. it's whether it's just a stopgap and it's well Ineos gets settled in and everything like that, I don't know, but I just want to see what you guys thought of that first of all. I wanted to make that before we got into some other stuff. I'll get into the chat right now just to see what you guys are thinking on this one. Dobie is free, says Erik ten Hag making mistakes, but I'm confident he can perform better if he had a better structure above him. We're a joke of a club and Erik ten Hag is trying hard to stay afloat. Yes, he is making mistakes. Graham says unfortunately you cannot get rid of 15 players at once. No, you can't, sadly. Giggs towards the end was given a year-on-year contract. Johnny Evans is now the only player at United to have won an FA Cup, Premier League and the Champions League medals. Judge it season by season. I am judging it season by season. I'm not having a go at Johnny Evans. I think he's earned his place in that team because he is playing better than the others. My main issue and why I wanted to talk about this was, like I said a minute ago, he has now gone from emergency loan to now being top of the tree out of all our defenders. It's credit to Johnny Evans and his attitude and how he's played and the standards that he's got within himself. And it's detriment to the rest of these defenders in this team. It really does show where the issue is within this squad. It really does. Disgusting, the whole club. Evans has been a brilliant player this season, says Kenny Fan TV. I agree. I think he's been one of our standouts. Philip says, keep Mainu, Ahmad, Rasmus, Go, Hannibal, Garnacho, Casemiro, Dalot, and get rid of the rest. Seriously, all the others, including Bruno, are washed up, have no drive in them. Onana, Martinez, keep 2. You could argue everyone's got their own players who they think are actually worth keeping in this football team. The players I'm talking about this morning, I don't think are the future of Manchester United. We need to be looking at that. And I think we are completely looking in the wrong direction. I do. I'd take a punt on keeping Martial for an extra year because you never know when the next injury crisis will come. Dober, are you being serious with that? Are you seriously being serious? I'm going to ignore that comment, Dober. Martial needed to be gone 5 years ago from this football club. Injury crisis? We have one. We have no Rasmus Højlund. Anthony Martial's been on his sick bed for 3 weeks, not even injured, just poorly. So we're in an injury crisis and he's nowhere to be seen, Dober. So no, I would be getting rid of him fast as we possibly can. Because there is no money for new defenders, Evans is doing good. The fans are chanting his name. Lindelof is a proper backup. You are not realistic here. I am more than realistic, watch party. Please don't talk garbage. Sorry if that offends you in any way. Lindelof is terrible. He's nowhere near Manchester United standard. We have got more than enough without Lindelof in this team. The fact that he's been here and won hardly anything tells you he's been part of a problem that this club has had for years, and people are just deluded in thinking that this is actually all right. What the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You think that this is all right and there's progress in this squad, then you need your head checking. You do. It's not going to get any better. It never will while the likes of Lindelof, Evans, Maguire and these players are at this football club. You can praise them individually for certain performances here and there and say it as it is. That's fair enough. But for the future of this football club, you ain't getting in the Champions League with this team. Martinez and Varane were our best partnership last season, and we got to the Champions League with them. We can't rely on them now. We turned into the most unreliable defence injury-wise ever. It's an absolute disaster class this season. But one thing you cannot tell me is that Maguire, Lindelof, Evans are Champions League players. They are not. Evans probably was, but not now because of his age. And I'm only talking about Evans because he's pushing 37. For God's sake, guys, come on. The fans can chant any player's name. But let's be honest, it doesn't mean that that player is going to turn up on the pitch. Please give the video a like, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It is extra content today. This wasn't scheduled, so I really do appreciate you all tuning into the show. We have just hit 100 likes on the stream, so thank you very much for that. If you are tuning in for the first time, I'm Adam, this is FUTV. You're only going to get real comments on this channel, so if that's your bag, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button for all of your notifications of the content coming up. We was live outside Old Trafford yesterday. We had 4 live videos yesterday going on the channel. There's so much going on. We got guest shows coming up. We have another show tonight to finish up the year at 6:30. So please do join the last show of the year for FUTV as well. Might as well keep Martial. Paid 80 million for Antony, says Gareth. There's some crazy comments coming in here today. Adam, who are your top 4 centre backs? That's in order of keeping. Martinez, Varane. That's it. Really, I'd rather us have youth players coming through and developing. In terms of keeping, that's a tough question, Graham, because I want Lindelof out, I want Maguire out. I'd keep Evans because he's a good squad player and he's going to be cheaper than the rest, and I think he's shown up a lot of the centre backs. I'd rather have Camberwell and Evans starting a game than anyone else right now. I'm not ahead of Varane, obviously. Varane and Martinez are the top 2. I think United need to go out and buy at least 1, maybe 2 centre-backs in the summer. This is where it needs to change. It really does. We need to go out and buy a better centre-back and bring through the youth alongside that. Maguire, Lindelof and Evans can all go for me. I'd keep Evans if we were really struggling. That's where I'm at with it. I don't want to see Lindelof wearing a United shirt again. I really don't. I think he's an excuse merchant, and you watch him on the pitch, he's always looking for an excuse out of it, and I think he hides. I really do think he hides. I'd keep Garnacho, Højlund, Palestri, Martinez. That's it. Wow, that's a damning one. Yes, I'm serious about Martial, Adam, because I don't know if Ineos are going to spend or can be trusted to recruit intelligently. Martial for another year might be worth a punt. I totally disagree, mate. I sort of hear where you're coming from, but Martial is long gone from this team. He offers nothing when he's on the pitch, and he's never available to leading. Come on. Let's just get into a few more. So you would have Martinez, Varane, Camberwell and Evans and a new signing, says Graham. Yep, I would. I don't want Maguire in there. I don't want Lindelof in there. Actually, Graham, I want 2 new centre-backs. That's what I want. That would be a sign of progress for me. Watch Party says, a strong, deep-lying playmaker with proper marking and tackling skills and a decent pass is what we need. Mount on Bruno's spot. Sell Bruno. A lot of people saying sell Bruno. In terms of that, I would say that was Declan Rice in the summer. Watch Party, that was the perfect player for us. Welcome to the members club, John Lee David Blackshaw. Thank you very much, my friend. We did do a members giveaway yesterday. Going into the new year as well, guys, we are going to be doing special content for the members as well. So if you are part of the members club, all contributions go straight back in to the channel as always, just to improve it and make things better. Like we said, we were outside live on location. We're going to do that a little bit more as well. We're going to get a few more guests as well on the channel. And this is all because of you guys putting into the channel as well. Fantastic. And I'm loving all of you right now, even though I don't agree with some of your comments, but that's what football's about, innit? It's opinions, and we all have one. And that's what I want to get out in this channel. Let me just see now. Declan Rice, we couldn't get. Not realistic. He preferred Arsenal, and he wants to stay in London. He was realistic. We just wasted money on other players. I'm not having that one either. Watch Party. I understand the London grab, but he would have played for United. We know that for certain. Harry Kane wanted to come to United. I heard him say it face to face with me in a press conference. So, yeah, I know that as well. Manchester United could have bought Kane or Rice, but we decided to spread our money across 3 other players that were completely unproven or injury prone. And I don't mean that anything against Mount or Højlund, but we knew Højlund had back injury issues. I think he is a good signing personally. I think he will come good with the right structure around him and better players. I think Mount was a complete waste of time, personally. Nothing against him either. I think the club is wrong for bringing that signing in. I wouldn't be disappointed if Varane left, said Graham. Ahead of who, Graham? Disagree again. I know he's going to be going probably the end of next season, I think, but right now I just need someone with that experience in this team. I really do. Adam, what are your thoughts on Mason Mount's future at United? I think I pretty much just said that there then. Well, Bruno's there, he doesn't play. It's as simple as that. Bruno's the captain, plays every game, and Ten Hag won't drop him. The only time Bruno will come out with his team is when he's injured or when he's suspended. That's it. Ten Hag will not drop Bruno Fernandes. Simple as. Wanted to get into what Gary Neville was saying yesterday as well, guys. Gary Neville was saying Manchester United panic buying is the issue. He doesn't blame Antony, the player. He blames the football club for bringing him in. They knew what type of player he was. They knew how he plays. He doesn't fit into United. Why did they bring him in? He's saying that Manchester United panic buyed and brought in both Casemiro and Antony under that method. Wasted time chasing down Frankie de Jong. Panic buy with Casemiro. I thought Casemiro was good last season. He got us back in the Champions League. I was part of it. I thought it was excellent, but he has dropped off now. We already know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has bemoaned that signing in Casemiro and doesn't think it was the right move, doesn't think that's the right direction for the football club. This is why I'm struggling with the news that Lindelof and Evans, I think it's just quick fixes just to keep them there, to counteract what I was saying. Hopefully Lindelof is to maybe sell him on and get a little bit of money for him. That's why you're extending his contracts, because I don't think he brings anything to United. Evans, simply because for some reason this defence is made of breadsticks and we've got injuries galore. I've never known a season like it for injuries, to be honest, and illnesses as well. I mean, I was told today that there is a norovirus that has been hanging around Carrington for weeks now, which is why we're losing players to illness continuously. Rasmus yesterday, Varane the previous week. Obviously, when it hits Martial hard. There was a big problem with him, which I was talking about yesterday. I'm not going to go in anymore. I'm sick of talking about him. John Lee David with a super chat says, being a Liverpool fan, for me, this is Football United TV, Adam. Football United TV. I'm sure all Liverpool fans are enjoying watching us talk about this, the demise of our football club right now. But people are still clinging on to Erik Ten Hag. They think he can last out the season. I think that's where a lot of people are actually at with Ten Hag right now. Who else comes in right now that changes Manchester United as a manager? I don't think there's anyone out there personally. I wouldn't be confident in anyone coming in other than Ten Hag right now. But like everyone knows already, my big issue, and it's highlighted, I've clipped it up, it's all over social media, Ten Hag's in-game management is unforgivable. Graham, you was asking me about Mainu, that you thought he was injured. I know you was at the game and you wouldn't have known, Graham, but Ten Hag came out afterwards and said it was tactical and he thought they were better with McTominay in there instead. McTominay's not a holding midfielder. Manchester United opened up for Nottingham Forest as soon as McTominay came on, and it was an absolute disaster of a decision from Ten Hag. And I can understand why so many Manchester United fans right now are going in on Ten Hag for his in-game management. Really is concerning how he thinks that McTominay was the right answer. Nottingham Forest didn't have a shot on target in that whole first half. We brought Mainu off and it opened up under McTominay. He was at fault for probably both goals in a way as well, positional wise. He just hasn't got it. He's better further forward, McTominay. And you know what? I wouldn't have bemoaned Ten Hag bringing McTominay on later on as a bit of a target man up front, something different, because we weren't creating anything. But to play him in defence, that was criminal. That is unforgivable from Ten Hag, and he deserves all the critique under the sun for doing that. Going through the record, I was just on top of the league going through Manchester United stats, and this is where it struggles for Ten Hag. So I can understand the argument for Ten Hag and stay in and wanting to see out the season, try and get through this integration of Ineos and get rid of a few of these players. But when you look at it, and you go, Manchester United have never had this fewer points at this stage of a season in history. That's a fact. That's crazy. Fewest goals scored as well at this point of a season, 20 games in. 9 defeats in 20 is the worst in Premier League history at this stage. We have the same amount of losses now, halfway through the season, than we did in the entirety of last season. So like I said before on the previous show, that pretty much, math-wise, takes Manchester United out of getting back in the Champions League. We just not got it in us. We haven't got the consistency in us, have we? And that's what it is. 21 defeats in a calendar year, which is 2023. It's the 4th worst in Manchester United's history. The 4th worst in our history. God, I had the pictures yesterday of Sir Alex Ferguson sat next to Sir David Brailsford. I'd have loved to have known what the conversation was. Ten Hag came out and said yesterday, we will be alright when our players come back. So David Brailsford knows we have problems here at Manchester United. Yeah, everyone can see that, Eric. But he's now saying that when the players come back, everything will be alright. That's what he said in the press conference yesterday. We'll be alright when all of our players come back. Well, we were alright against Liverpool in your post-match press conference. We were alright after Chelsea. We were alright after Aston Villa. But because we've lost a game, Ten Hag has now gone back to saying it's all because we haven't got all our players available. You can't have it both ways, Eric. He is struggling immensely in dealing with questions and trying to back up what his team is doing on the pitch. He thought we played well in the second half, better in the second half. Yeah, we didn't create much in the first half. We were drab, but defensively we were rock solid. A few misplaced passes and Anthony completely wasting our time on the right-hand side. In the first half, it might have been different. But again, that comes down to Erik ten Hag. He had an option on the bench there, a few options to change things up. He didn't have to play Anthony. Anthony isn't offering anything at the moment. He tracks back, he works hard, he gives us nothing going forward. And right now, that front line is dying. Dying. I need to get into the comment section, guys, just to see where you're at, because I did promise you guys you would have your say. You now understand why McFred never worked, says Gavin. Let's get up to the 200 like mark, guys. We're not far away now, over 150. Thank you very much. Make sure you give the video a like and subscribe if you are tuning in for the first time. Over 800 in the room with us right now. It is an extra bit of content that I didn't schedule, but I feel like I just had to bring you guys in to have your say on yesterday and that topic this morning. Did you see Rio Ferdinand's comments as well yesterday? Took until the 90th minute to actually start giving a shit. Oh, for F's sake, those were the words of Rio Ferdinand. Super chats in from 619 Trading. Why is his game management so bad this season, do you think? Last year it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I don't understand how it's got to this stage. That's the honest answer to that. I don't see how it has got to this stage. Jason Garbutt says we are playing too many attacking midfield players. Bruno, Ericsson, McTominay, Mounts, Van der Beek, all in my opinion are number 10s and should only play one of them. Round pegs in round holes is an issue that we've got right now. Against Aston Villa, Rashford was on the left, his preferred position. He played his best game of the season. Garnacho, I feel, can play both sides. I think he's that talented and he's our one shining light. We had Højlund in the middle, the balance was right. Bruno was at 10, it was working. As a 4, they all worked together. They won the ball back high and they pressured and hassled and harried Aston Villa. The midfield, Ericsson and Mainu, that worked. As soon as you start bringing in a McTominay, you're losing quality instantly. He's going to hold this team back. McTominay needs to be in a forward 10 role, last ditch, giving us an option going forward as a squad player. That's it. That's the only place he can play. Defensively, we're struggling simply because of the injuries right now. There's nothing we can do about the injuries. My discussion about who I would let go is irrelevant to what is the reality of this season right now and how unlucky we are. Illness and injury, I've never known anything like it. It's horrible. Only morons want to keep Ten Hag for the sake of not sacking another manager. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. In terms of the stats and everything, as a big club, you wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag was sacked, would you though? I understand what you're saying and you don't want to see another manager sacked, but the reality conversation is that a big club should be sacking Ten Hag right now. Am I wrong in saying that? I don't think so. I don't want to see Ten Hag go like other managers. I hate the fact that these players are absolutely useless, and I've completely thrown him under the bus. 200 likes in the bag, guys, as well. Thank you very much. Adam, if we sack Erik Ten Hag, who will come in? Potter? I don't think so. I don't think he's good enough. If you offered me De Zerbi or Potter, I'd take Ten Hag over both of them. I'm not for the new manager bounce. It's a quick fix for me, and I'd rather see Ten Hag stay in just because he's experienced. What happens with the structure is what everyone wants to see more than anything. This new hard hand of Ineos coming into Manchester United is all important right now, not just for Ten Hag but for the fans to actually see something different at Manchester United. It's going to be a very, very, very difficult period for all Manchester United fans, because they'll want to see change. They're not going to see it because things are not going to happen overnight with Ineos. It's not going to work like that. It isn't going to, and I don't think I honestly don't think United will get rid of Ten Hag. I don't think Manchester United will sack him. I think they'll let him see out the season, and in a way I think they've kind of written off the season. I do. I think Manchester United are writing off the season right now. They'll say to Ten Hag, we'll stay in, see what we can do, see what happens with the new structure, give him a chance like he said, and all he keeps saying to back himself up is wait till all the players are back and then you can judge me. Well, we're judging Ten Hag now on a normal season, an average season where there's not many games. He gets his time on the training ground when all these players are back. We'll see what he's saying right now. We'll see when everyone's fit if he starts playing McTominay. We'll see if he has these in-game moments where he replaces our only holding defensive midfielder for I don't know what, another midfielder. I don't even know what McTominay's best position is. I think it's further forward. We'll see if he does these things. Casemiro's coming back. Does that mean that Mainoo's not going to get any game time, even though he's been our one bright spark and Casemiro hasn't been performing? So straight away I'm going to ask the question. It's like Ten Hag is talking about having all these players back. Who actually thought that Casemiro was working this season when he was playing? Was he playing brilliant football? Was it totally different? I can remember our form being just as shit early on in the season as it is right now when Casemiro was playing. So who's to say what Ten Hag's saying when all these players come back he'll have better balance? It all comes down to individual players doing their job on the pitch, and no one is doing that. I'd say Garnacho at best. Centre-backs, Johnny Evans, Varane as well recently. They're the only three players I can think of who've actually done their jobs properly. So he can say what he wants to say. There's no guarantee though when these players come back that they're going to start performing the way that he thinks in his head they will do. And that this is the big problem right now with Manchester United. Like I said before, after we beat Chelsea, the squad was alright. After we beat Aston Villa, the squad was alright. He said maybe we should do this more often when we drew 0-0 with Liverpool, and he was praising the squad and the togetherness, and now they're playing for each other. But now we've lost again to Nottingham Forest. It's now back to, well, let's just wait and judge me when everyone's fit. So David Brailsford knows there's a problem here with the injuries at United, and it's unfair to look at this team while everyone's out injured. I don't think that's acceptable personally. Martinez wasn't playing well. I think we forced him back with an injury, and that's down to the club again. So it's our fault that Martinez has been out for so long. He wasn't playing fantastic. We don't know how he's going to come back. Casemiro, Mason Mount, he's not playing in this season. Malacia, he's not a first team player. Scattergun games every way through a season. So I'm looking at Casemiro, Mount, Malacia, three of the players that are coming back. Harry Maguire, are you going to move two of our best performers, Evans and Varane, out of the team now because Maguire's back? Lindelof, he's talking about balance. I'm actually considering, apart from Martinez, who any of these players coming back from injury actually come in to the current team for. So again, I don't understand Ten Hag's logic in his post-match comments. I don't understand it. Let's get back to the chat. Let's give you guys a chance. How can you dig the Glazers out constantly? Then Ten Hag is doing more damage in 6 months than they done in the first 5 years. Wake up, sleeping uglies. Completely ridiculous comment. You can only say what you see. Yeah, Ten Hag is causing problems right now. We're talking about that. The Glazers, if you think don't need digging out or haven't been a problem, then you need a good slap across the face with a wet fish, because they are the biggest issue at Manchester United. Massively, because they employed people that wasted money, that weren't football people, and have drove this football club to the state it's in right now. So that is the Glazers. They're in charge of the staff, not just what the manager does with the players. They're the ones that give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new contract. They're the ones that sacked Louis van Gaal because Jose Mourinho was available. They're the ones that had Ed Woodward, Richard Arnold and Murto in position running this football club for the last 5 years. They're the ones that wanted to take Manchester United away from the Premier League and form the Super League. The Glazers are the biggest problem at Manchester United. So let's not kid ourselves. But the money that this club has wasted, the club's money, not the Glazers' money, is down to the people that the Glazers employed. There's your big problem. That's the facts. Adam, Erik ten Hag comments for months now have been baffling. Clearly, his coaching needs more, as nobody is improving. And again, the lack of Erik ten Hag's style of play was clear to see once again. The problem you've got for Ten Hag at the moment, I feel, is that Ange Postecoglou with a failing Spurs team seem to be all getting better. Unai Emery, you would say, with a distinctly average Villa team, no massive names, is performing wonders. These managers have come in and are getting a tune out of mediocre to good players, you would say. Nothing world class. So you look at that and go, Ten Hag, you've had more money than all of these managers. You've been in there longer now, coming up to 18 months in charge, and still no style of play, no direction. And Gary Neville was going in on this as well yesterday. He just doesn't know what United's plan is. You can't see a plan. You can't see a pattern. You can't see anything in what we're doing. It's mix match from week to week, just not good enough, and that is the problem. It doesn't look like he can get to grip with anything. The chopping and changing constantly in teams isn't Ten Hag's fault. The injuries have really hampered any progression they have, and I can't really go in on him on that side of things, and I'm not. It's not fair. We have had really bad injuries, but hasn't every manager this season? I think it's the worst season ever for injuries overall. Craig, member for 2 months. Thank you very much, my man. Ten Hag in, but difference in him this season. Are you worried, Craig, though? That's the thing. That is the thing. Are you worried that he is now losing his direction? He's losing his vision of what he had for Manchester United. He says he is the man to see through the process. I'm not convinced that he is the man to see through this process. I'm really not. I don't believe he has got this team where he needs them to be, and he's running out of time. How long will he get? He's thinking he can get this sorted, but when is the question? When? That is, no matter which way you look at it, the single biggest issue at Manchester United. Ten Hag is running out of time. When you get to that 18-month, 2-year mark, all managers start being judged. Inevitably. It's always going to come down to that mark. And unfortunately for Ten Hag, his time is coming to that end now. If we've seen signs that things were improving, maybe you'd get a little bit of leeway. But past that, Ten Hag, I don't think he's going to get any extra investment. And everything is riding for him now on these players coming back, because that was his last rallying cry. I think that was him calling out to Ineos, to David Brailsford, to Jim Radcliffe, saying, let me get my players back. Let me get all my injured players back. That's his last chance. And that is this month. January is coming. And these players are all back. So if things don't improve, then he's got no excuse. And I think that will be the end of Ten Hag. I think by the end of January, if things haven't got any better for United, we haven't won. Let's forget, we've got Spurs coming up at Old Trafford in the league next. Wolves, two teams that I really fear and I think are better than us right now. The FA Cup against Wigan the FA Cup might be the saviour for Ten Hag. If we can go on an FA Cup run, I think that's the only way that Ten Hag survives at Manchester United. But guys, I have to entertain. I have family coming round. It is New Year's Eve. I've got a bit to do today, so I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the stream. It was an extra one today. We will be back at 6:30. But thank you so much for tuning in. All the new members, all the super chats, and everyone contributing. Just you guys being in there and giving the video a like. All the subscribers, fantastic as always. We're on the road to 50k, guys. We've gone past 34 today. In the new year, 2024 will be that time. 50k and upwards, let's just say, because we are going from strength to strength. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It has been a ball again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be back to see out 2024 with a bang at 6:30. Guests coming on the show as well later on, guys. We're going to give you more say as well on everything, so we'll wait for all of the aftermath to go through today. We'll read through it all and we'll break everything down, and we'll bring you anything that is breaking as well regarding United news in the 6:30 show later on today. Fantastic stuff as always, everyone. We'll see you later on. Like, share and subscribe, especially if you are tuning in for the first time.